Hello again, everyone. This is Howard Cosell speaking of sports. The autumn of 1960 brought to an end an era in baseball that will never be forgotten. Casey Stengel left the Yankee dynasty that he had almost solely created. And on that October day, this is the way it was.
I must have to thank those ball players in 12 years. Don't you think I know how good DiMaggio was? Don't you think I can't see Mickey Mantle coming ahead and maybe being the top ball player? Don't you think I know Skowron played with a bad back? Don't you think I know that Ford's been a good pitcher here? Don't you think I know I had to remake a pitching staff of Reynolds, Rashi, and Lopat? Certainly, but it's been made. And this fall going out, I want everybody here, or anybody, to get the lineups and compare the players in each position with the clubs, I mean in October, not in the spring.
Okay, so if you...
And you'll see what's left of the club. That's what I'm interested. Those men had to give out for me to get the record I have.
The interview with Casey Stengel, which you've just heard, is the first of a series of specially selected interviews with top sports personalities on this record. Over the past few years, I've been fortunate enough to be able to interview just about every top sports figure in this country and abroad, many of them exclusively, all of them timely, and as you will soon hear, all of them timeless. And so I joined Jaymar Ruby Incorporated in the hope that this record will become a collector's item that you will value. And as you listen, I think you will also value the facts. You will hear about how to sell more and more Sansabelt slacks by Jaymar and Sansabelt slacks by YMM. Because interspersed with the hard-hitting drama of the sports world are several important messages which relate directly to your world. So sit back and enjoy the next 25 minutes or so. Listen to some of my favorite Speaking of Sports interviews chosen especially for you. And please listen, too, as I tell you how to sell and satisfy more of your customers with Sansabelt. We begin with the greatest World Series game ever played. The date was October 13, 1960, and the Pittsburgh Pirates, writing a script in fact that no one would believe in fiction, had just defeated the New York Yankees 10-9 to become the world champions. In the clubhouse, immediately after the game, Dick Groat, the Pirate captain and shortstop and the National League's most valuable player, capsulized the epic moment.
To me, Howard, this was typical of the Pittsburgh Ball Club all year long. We never stopped bouncing back. Everybody thought we were dead in New York. We bounced back, and I would guarantee that most of the people in the press box thought the Pirates were dead in the eighth inning, but they weren't. They bounced back with a 7-4 deficit to go ahead 9-7. They tied it up in the ninth to make it 9-9, and Mazeroski walks off the bench in the ninth and hits the first hitter hits the ball at the ballpark to win it 10-9. To me, as asked earlier in the World Series, was the first game a typical Pirate game? I said no. If somebody asked me that today, this was a typical Pirate game. We came from behind from the seventh inning on, I imagine 25 to 30 times this past year, and to me this is a typical Pirate win.
Think you'll ever forget this game, this day?
Never, as long as I live, Howard. This is my greatest thrill in sports, is being world champions, and I might say, more than anything, just being a member of this ball club. This is the greatest club in the world, and we proved it in the last week or so. One more thing, Howard. It's not just ability that wins the World Series. We didn't have the power, the ability. Everybody picked us to lose the World Series, but this club had the heart, the desire, and the drive like I've never seen on any athletic team in my life. That's the reason we won the pennant, and that's the reason we won the World Series.
Ted Williams retired from baseball in 1960 at the age of 42. He went out with a home run the way Ted Williams would. His departure marked the end of a tempestuous career, a career highlighted as much by Ted's personality as by his great batting achievements. And Ted, of course, was the greatest hitter of modern times. The Williams personality is documented in sound in the excerpts you are about to hear, beginning with spring training in 1956. Pitcher John Podres of the Dodgers, the 1955 World Series hero, had just been drafted into the Army, and Williams thought that Podres, previously rejected for military service, had been singled out unfairly. Ted put it this way:
Well, I don't know, but I'm not worried about deserving youngsters other than in baseball. I think that as a whole, the baseball players have been segregated against more than any other group that I can think of. And I don't give a darn about what any politician or any draft board official says. I know what I've seen and my own experience for that matter, and I don't care to elaborate any more on it.
In 1957, everyone thought Williams should quit. He was then 37 years old, but Ted had other ideas. And when I asked him why he stayed in the game, he said this.
M-O-N-E-Y. Still money. That's right. Nothing but. Personal pride, too. When I get to where I don't think I can do it, I'll quit. But right now, it's M-O-N-E-Y.
In 1958, after still another good year in 1957, the baseball experts wanted Williams to step down, to go out on top, as it were, because they feared he didn't have it anymore. Williams answered the experts this way.
Well, I'll tell you this. When I hit 260, I'll quit, and that's what DiMaggio hit, as great as he was, and I don't think I'm going to hit 260, so I got another year or 2 or 3 or 5 before I'm going to hit 260.
In 1960, Williams grew introspective, and he analyzed himself in a different way. He saw a change in himself, and with his usual forthrightness, this was the characterization.
Well, I'm probably a little more settled, if you want to call it that. I'm getting older. I don't have the tantrums of being so down in the dumps, possibly, that I did at one time, or the heights of that I thought were the greatest thing in the world at times. I'm probably a little more on an even keel. However, I must say this in defense of myself, that at times I've been pictured a lot differently than I really am, and I'm sure that anybody that knows me could vouch for that, and that's kind of irked me as much as anything, because sometimes I've been pictured as a fellow that didn't do this or didn't do that, and it was an altogether wrong picture, and that disturbed me probably more than anything.
Have you ever done anything that you regret, that you would do differently?
Well, I think that there's probably a couple of things that I probably would like to erase, but I'm sure that if it happened all over again, I'm pretty sure I'd do the same thing.
On the day he finally quit, a day that he went out with a flourish, the Williams home run was the final hit he ever made. This was Ted Williams.
Well, I think it's nice to have a pretty good year going out, you bet.
Is this it, then?
Positively. I've said a million times, I don't even like to answer the question anymore.
Still, you won't manage?
No, I think it's a lousy job. I think you're dependent on too many players. I think you're dependent on the press. I think you take a lot of abuse. I think it's a thankless job.
And so, right to the end, Ted Williams was what he always was. Outspoken, bluntly honest, not always popular, but always respected, and not just as a hitter. Now, let's leave sports for a minute or so and talk about slacks. Let's talk about sales. Let's talk about Sansabelt, and most important, let's talk about you. I know from my own experience that when I walk into a men's store, I often look to the salesman to advise me and to guide me. I like to know what's new and better, and I'm always pleased when a salesman shows it to me and explains it to me. Usually I end up trying it and buying it. But when a salesman acts hesitant and unsure, then I feel the same way myself and usually end up keeping my money in my pocket. That's why it pays for you to know about the newest and the best merchandise in your store so that you can sell it with confidence. Now, the perfect case in point is Sansabelt slacks. Sansabelt is a new idea, and I think you can tell customers that Sansabelt is just about the best idea in slacks since the zipper. When you say something like that, of course, your customers are going to be interested because the best idea since the zipper is a pretty bold statement. The kind of statement you'd better be able to back up. And you can back it up when you're talking about Sansabelt. I'm going to tell you how later on in this record. Meanwhile, please remember that a customer is pleased and flattered when you show him something new and better. He's intrigued when you sum it up with a statement like, Sansabelt is the best thing that's happened to men's slacks since the zipper. Now, let's get back to speaking of sports. As the history of Williams points up, baseball is a game of personalities as much as achievements, and no better illustration can be made than the story of Jimmy Pearsall. Most people know that story. The mental breakdown several years ago, the recovery, the remarkable baseball comeback, and then in 1960, a series of tantrums on the ball field that made front-page news. In a remarkable self-exposition, here is Jimmy Pearsall telling what happened to him in 1960.
Well, it all started in Detroit. The fans in Detroit, as far as I'm concerned, I don't blame all fans. I'm not, would be lying if I said that all fans are vicious, but in Detroit, these are vicious fans. Fans who are noted for trying to upset a ball player any way they can, not only in baseball, but in hockey and basketball when they're there. And they've been throwing things at me, and they've been using stencils that they wire together 2 or 3 times, and then they shoot them out of elastics, and they've been hitting me in the back of the neck with them. They've been throwing ice cubes. They've been throwing apples and oranges, and they've been throwing bolts. Things like this that have been very upsetting to me, that I think has really kicked me off to that problem I had in Chicago. I had salutes thrown at me. I hit a home run, and the next minute I get out there, they had been throwing them, but they weren't throwing them where they were going off. They started to wire them so they would land near me, maybe on me, and they were going off. And it sort of upset me in a way that just made me explode when I got to Chicago.
I noticed a story, Jim, to the effect that your wife, Mary, asked you to quit baseball. Is the story true?
Well, yes, she did. She wants me to quit if I'm going to be hurting myself permanently in life, because she feels that I have enough ability to support my family without hurting baseball and also hurting myself. I don't want to quit. I have no intentions of quitting. I feel that I'm in good health. I feel that I'm in a position where I can cope with certain things, but it's been 5 years that I've been putting up with a lot of insults, and not only from the fans, but from the ball players, and now I've been repaying them. And by paying them back, I mean I've been getting the big base hit. Instead of just letting my bat talk for me, I've been giving a little gesture with it, a little showmanship that comes natural to me, that I probably don't mean to do, but I do. It's so easy for people to tell me that I shouldn't do these things, but as far as I'm concerned, I was getting even for people calling me crazy, calling me Goonie Bird, calling my mother crazy, calling my family should monkey in a cage, and things that have just cut me up for the last 5 years that I've been hoping that someday I could, in my own way, get back at them, and I think that's what I've been trying to do.
All right, Jimmy, the fact is, and you've just said it, people have been calling you crazy and Goonie Bird. And the fact also is, too, that this reaches a man who's once undergone what you've undergone. Now, are you prepared to resist this if it continues? If so, how?
Well, I figure I just want to be treated like anybody else. I don't think that I should have any special treatment, but I do say this. If someone is going to agitate me, they've got to take it back. This is America. We have, this is a free country. If people are not man enough to take what I'm doing now without throwing things at me and trying to injure me permanently, I have 7 children to support, and I don't think that it's fair to me or to my family that I should continue to play baseball if they don't enjoy watching me. I'm told that I'm a pretty good ball player to watch, so why should they try to injure me?
And that's the Jimmy Pearsall side of the Jimmy Pearsall story. Baseball has been forced to expand the existing major leagues to 10 teams. They might never have done so, but a man 78 years young named Branch Rickey had begun a 3rd major league, and organized baseball knew that Mr. Rickey could accomplish what he had set out to do. And so, by the simple process of expansion, the 3rd major league was destroyed before it ever really got started. But was it really? Will expansion succeed, or is a 3rd major league a better way for baseball to grow? In a memorable statement, Mr. Rickey said this.
It may be that there will be some of those in this country who, if successful in defeating the organization of the 3rd major league, or a 3rd major league, will become the embalmers, the great embalmers of the national game of professional baseball in America. I am not only not going to attend that funeral as a pallbearer, but posterity will write that kind of an epitaph on their tombstone, and the one they'll write on mine will be probably that he failed, possibly, but he died trying.
Certain legends grow in American sport. One of the principal ones was that no heavyweight champion could ever recapture his crown once he had lost it. On June 20, 1960, at the Polo Grounds in New York City, Floyd Patterson destroyed that legend with a tremendous left hook that all but demolished Ingemar Johansson. In the ring, after the knockout, Patterson talked about a controversial right hand that Ingo had landed in the second round. Listen.
Well, Howie, I'm not going to kid. I did feel that I had a great chance of knocking him out after the first round, but he caught me with a very good right hand, and I tried to play coy. I tried to make like I was seriously hurt so he can follow up, but he never did.
And then in the dressing room, just moments later, here was Floyd Patterson again. When you went over to talk to Ingo, what did you say to him, and did he understand what you were saying?
I think he understood. I reassured him that he would get another chance.
Well, he knew that from the contract, didn't he?
Well, I just wanted him to know that for sure, because I know it makes you feel better. See, had they told me the night that I lost that I would get another chance, I would have felt much better. So,
Floyd, you got a funny kind of smile, just like after Archie Moore. Do you feel just as good?
much better, because now I think for the first time the public will recognize me as the heavyweight champion.
You think this has done it? The fact that you made history. Floyd just now shaking hands with Jersey Joe Walcott. You think now, once and for all, they'll say, Patterson can fight, he's no bum?
They will have to. They will have to.
How do you feel about the sporting press, the men around me who picked you to lose so almost unanimously?
I'm looking at their faces now.
Thus did Floyd Patterson express his redemption.